Hello Stampers, welcome to another rubber redneck video tutorial. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make this fresh vintage stationery holder. Now this project uses some of the celebration items from the Stampin' Up! Celebration catalog. If you purchase $50 in merchandise, you then have the opportunity of getting some of these items for free. So be sure to ask your demonstrator about that special. That special runs from January 24th to March 30th, 2012. And one of the items it features is the Fresh Vintage Stamp Set, and then the Everyday Enchantment Designer Series paper, and the Everyday Enchantment Ribbon and Brad's bundle. So be sure to ask your demonstrator about these items. Now to create the holder, you want to cut one piece of soft suede cardstock, and you want to cut that at 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. Then you will score that at 4 1/4 and then at 4 1/2. Once you have that scored, fold over on those scored lines, creating a little book. Then you want to cut one piece of very vanilla cardstock at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Then you're going to sponge the edges with soft suede ink. Then cut a piece of Everyday Enchantment Designer Series paper at 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Snail that to the very vanilla cardstock. Then you're going to cut another piece of Everyday Enchantment Designer Series paper. And you want to cut that piece at 3 inches by 3 1/4, and be sure to cut that in a different colored pattern. Then you're going to go ahead and snail that to the bottom of the designer paper. Then you want to cut one piece of Pool Party cardstock, and you want to cut that at 3 1/4 by 3 inches. Run it through the Big Shot with the houndstooth embossing folder. Then apply some snail onto the back and place that right in the center of that designer series paper. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to snail this piece to the front of the soft suede cardstock. So just snail that right on there in the center. And then you want to cut about 15 inches of 3/8 soft suede taffeta and 15 inches of the Everyday Enchantment ribbon. Now there's two different ribbons. You get Calypso Coral or you get the Lucky Limeade. And on the front I use the Calypso Coral. And what you want to do is just wrap that around the center on top of that Pool Party cardstock. And then just leave it there loose for the time being. Then you want to cut one piece of Lucky Limeade cardstock, and you want to cut that at 2 1/2 by 3 inches. Cut one piece of very vanilla cardstock at 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. Sponge the edges with soft suede, and then take the stamp from Fresh Vintage, ink it in Pool Party, and stamp it onto the center of the very vanilla cardstock. Apply some snail onto the back, and then place that right in the center of the Lucky Limeade cardstock. Then you want to place two stamping dimensionals on the back. So I just placed one at the top and the bottom, and you want to do this so that your ribbon can slide through in this area when you attach this to the front of the holder. So now you're going to hold your ribbon in place, and then place the Lucky Limeade and very vanilla cardstock over the top, and you want it so that it goes towards the top more. And then to finish it off, what I did was I took one of our little mini library clips. I placed that in here onto the Lucky Limeade cardstock at an angle. I then took some Jewels Basic Pearls, and I just added them into the image on the stamped image here for the centers on the flower. And then I just placed a few more randomly onto the image to dress it up and make it look a little more vintage-like. And then for the bottom down here, what I did was I took the Big Shot and the Billboard's decorative strip, and I die cut out notes, all in capital letters using the soft suede cardstock. I used multi-purpose liquid glue to put them on, and then I placed some Jewel's Basic Pearls on the bottom down here. Now for the inside, we're going to add our stationery, and you can put as much stationery in here as you want, at least up to a 1/2 inch thickness here. So I took some copy paper and I just cut down a couple of sheets, and I cut them at 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then make it so the ends are tight and flush. Lay that on to the soft suede cardstock here. And then what you want to do is you want to take like a 1/2 inch punch, and you're going to punch 2 holes at the top up here. So just punch 2 holes at the top through that copy paper and that soft suede cardstock. Then once you have that punched, then you're going to take some of that Lucky Limeade ribbon from the enchantment pack, and you're just going to thread that down through the copy paper and the soft suede cardstock. Now a little trick I do is I lay the paper over the hole and then press down with my scissors to get that threaded through there. And then I repeat the same thing on the other side. I just flip it over and then press it through the holes on the back here. So I can grab a hold of it with my fingers. And then once you have your paper into place, what you want to do is just tie a double knot here at the top with the ribbon. And then that will hold the ribbon in place. And then when you eventually run out of paper, you can simply just trim the ribbon off there, and then cut some more paper and just add to it again and tie some more ribbon back through those holes. And then that will complete the tutorial for the Fresh Vintage Stationery Holder. Thank you for watching.